Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Encinitas, Escondido, California. Jeepers, forgot where I was there for a minute. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Oh God, my hair's a mess again. It's been a busy day here. Mum and Dad are packing. They're heading home tomorrow. After I've been with my parents now for 2 months minus 1 week. So I spent 3.5 weeks in New Zealand with them touring around there. Then came here for a week. And then they flew over and joined me. And they've been here since the 28th of July. So they've been here 4.5 weeks, I think it is. And they head home tomorrow. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with myself without my parents around. If I have to... because I don't, them being in New Zealand, there were a few years there where we didn't get to see each other for a few years and that sort of stuff. And I got to see them at Christmas time, which was awesome. Got to spend the month of July with them and now the month of August. So, so tomorrow's going to be a very bittersweet day as my parents head home. And, and those of you who keep asking about my dad, his arm is doing wonderful, thank you. We spoke with the manager at the campground today, and they are helping the family with the dog to relocate to another campground. So they're finding another place for them to go with their dog. And but it's interesting because I know where it happened now, because they stopped. When we were driving out one day, we stopped and Mum showed me where the blood was on the road, and it's still there. So every time I go past, I think of my dad getting attacked by a dog, and I just hope and pray that the recovery will keep going well and have no complications from it. But he's moving the arm well. It's Mum keeps bandaging it up and all that sort of stuff. So thank you all for your thoughts and prayers on that. I truly appreciate that, and so do they. So first of all, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I have to give a shout out to Dick, because I totally forgot to do this. Well, actually, did I forget? Yes, I totally forgot to do this on Saturday. Announce the winner of our unusual place name. So Dick's post got the most likes, got the most reactions on it, and his post said, "In Michigan, one can travel from hell to paradise, and for Christmas on the way, or vice versa, still with Christmas." So in Michigan, they have hell and paradise and Christmas, and you can travel all three together. So congratulations, Dick. If you want to send me your mailing information, we will get a prize in the mail out to you. So congratulations. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a surprise. So today we are talking about setting your own rules. And this was another lesson learned. So we're now going through, for those of you who are jumping on partway through this, we're doing a series on lessons learned on the inaugural RV road trip in Sparkles, where we did 3,227 miles. So spending my time behind the wheel of an RV, long distance driving for the very first time, covering that amount of distance in 26 days, as you can imagine, I learned a lot. And I have my parents to thank, because they helped me with learning some of the things, considering the fact that they used to own a Class C camper back in New Zealand. I have my Fleetwood Bounder group, who were just awesome with advice and all of that as well. So since I have a Fleetwood Bounder, I would put questions and our updates on what campgrounds we were in and my thoughts about it and all that into the group. And they were good at coming back with advice when I came across any issues and stuff. And then I learned a lot about myself at the same time. So today we're talking about setting your own rules. And this came about when we're talking about driving distances and driving times and things. And somebody suggested that what they do is that they set themselves, they have their own, everybody has their own rules when it comes to driving an RV about what time you're going to get on the road, what time you're going to get off the road, and that sort of stuff. I have always I've always thought that once I got the RV, that I would never arrive at dark. I would always make sure I drove only during the daylight hours. Reason being, because when you get to an RV park, if you've got to back into the park, if you've got to back into your site, you have to have a vision. You have to be able to see. Rear view cameras can help you only so much. There's still stuff that you may not see. So one of the rules I'm setting I got advised to do was set a time that you have to be on the road no later than whatever it is, and make sure you're at your next destination by this time, so that you allow yourself time to get set up during daylight hours, like plugging in your power, plugging in your connecting your water, connecting the sewer, getting located, just basically just getting located on your site. And it's a lot easier to do in the daytime because campgrounds most campgrounds, there's not a lot of lighting around, and the lighting that there is out on the street, so you're backing into the dark, not into the light. When it comes to setting your own rules, it's also sort of things like setting yourself, like if you are an entrepreneur and you work from home and stuff, set your own rules when it comes to what time you're going to be as your start time and your finish time each day. Make sure that, and this comes to when you're learning to live in your calendar. And I'm going to do a whole other series on learning to live in your calendar because it just blows my mind with what I learned with that. But basically it is set your start time, set your finish time, and don't do anything outside of that time work related. Yes, there are times you're going to have to bend the rules for certain reasons, circumstances beyond your control, getting stuck in traffic, family emergency coming up, all that sort of stuff. But when it came to the driving thing, it is we're now making the rule of on the road by 9 o'clock. Off the road by 3:30, being at our destination by 3:30, which when it goes back to yesterday's one with calculating the drive time and everything else to setting our pace, we can now be a little more realistic with that because we now know about driving times in an RV. We can now set the rules to state, right, I want to be on the road by no later than 9 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be at my next destination by 3:30. So even when I'm traveling during non-daylight saving time, I still get to the site in time to set up during daylight hours. Hopefully in fine weather. Hopefully it's always in fine weather. But it's just setting that expectation. Even with my office hours when I'm working, I'm having to set rules when I travel and work, because traveling, living in the RV is now presenting new challenges for office hours when it comes to having to move locations and that. So there's a lot of planning going on, and not just a thing like, oh, I'm going to hit the road tomorrow. That may come later on down the road, but right now I plan things out. But it's sort of like, my morning routine is I get up around 6 o'clock in the morning. I do my morning meditations and devotions. I have breakfast, have a shower, get dressed. At 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I'm doing my emails. I don't touch my emails again as far as looking at incoming emails until 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on how the day's going. I also have in my calendar, I have planned my lunch breaks. So I'm setting up my own rules. Another rule that I set up with driving is we're only driving at most 90 minutes, and then we have a break. And that's getting out of the vehicle, walking around, doing some stretches, maybe a restroom break, hydration, that sort of stuff, taking care of myself. So in setting your rules, it's not just when it comes to driving that you want to be on the road by a certain time, off the road at a certain time. You can set your rules in different areas of your life as far as your time goes. Your time is yours, not anybody else's. You decide how to spend your 24 hours a day. Nobody else can they can waste your time. But if you've got your rules in place, then you're going to find the time wasters are going to become fewer and fewer and fewer, because you're going to turn around, like I do with some clients. If they call me in the middle of the day when I'm in the middle of doing something else, I'm like right now I let them know, I'm just finishing up something with another client right now. May I give you a call back? And I set another time for them, put them in my calendar, and that's done. That is my rule. I don't just get on the phone and go blah, 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 with the client when they call me. It's like, I can't talk right now, but I can talk to you at this time. So it's setting your rules, and when you set your own rules, you'll find that your productivity will increase, that you're not going to get frustrated about not having a productive day, because by having the rules in place, you will end up having a more productive day than a non-productive, because with the rules in place, you know what's going to happen throughout the day. You know that expectations and stuff. Yes, things will pop up that will screw up your day completely. Believe me, I get that. I lived with that. Of having my day planned and then having to throw everything out the window because I had to take my husband to emergency room, or my husband got put into hospital, and then you're sitting there and you're trying to work while he's there in the hospital bed, you're sleeping, you're there in his hospital room working, and you've got the constant interruption of doctors and nurses coming in all the time. I have been there, I have lived through it. Then when he passed, I didn't know where my feet were. I basically was floating around, no fixed location, no nothing. And then I sort of said to myself, I got to get this in hand. So I started making rules for myself, started learning to live back in my calendar again. And when I got to live in my calendar, I was setting my own rules. of what time I would take client calls, what time of the day I would answer emails, respond to emails, and that sort of thing. And basically setting my rules and how I deal with my clients, how I deal with my business, how I deal with prospects, how I deal with my accountabilities, all of that sort of stuff. It's now all scheduled out. Yes, I know things are going to come up unexpectedly, and that's life. You just got to adapt and adjust. But if you have your rules in place, set your own rules on how you're going to deal with certain things, how you're going to deal when the unexpected comes up, you can easily adjust. It's very easy to adjust. Allow flexibility in your schedules. Have that as another rule. Allow the flexibility to be there. You could say, right, I'm going to drive from 9 o'clock, and it's a 5-hour drive, taking into account my stops along the way, which means I'm going to get there at 2 o'clock. Perfect, all of this. You've now got an hour and a half wiggle room if your get off the road time is 3:30. Think about that. If you figure it's going to take me 5 hours to get you leaving 9 o'clock in the morning, it's going to take me 5 hours to get there, it's 2 o'clock. My absolute latest get off the road time is 3:30. You now have an hour and a half wiggle room. That wiggle room could be used for things like extra sightseeing, for if you get stuck in traffic. There's an accident, the road gets closed down for a while. That's going to be the one thing that, those unexpected things are going to be things. But if you allow the wiggle room in there, you can still make your deadlines that you have set for yourself. Yes, there are times it might get pushed out to 4 o'clock, but by 3:30, I know that I still have, daylight saving time, I may still have 4 hours of daylight left. And non-daylight saving time, I may have an extra hour or two left. So there's still flexibility in the schedule to allow me to get to my site during daytime. Or it could be that I'm not going to make it there because of the roads and everything else, so let me find somewhere closer by. So that's it about setting your rules. Set your own rules. Come up with your plan, because when you've got your own rules set, it means that your time is your time, and people are going to respect that more than and you'll be more productive. I mean, that's the key thing, is that you're more productive. Even in something as simple as housekeeping. I know that my housekeeping in my RV, doing the cleaning, will take me at max 30 minutes, and I may choose to do it in 10-minute chunks. My rules, I can change them if I like. That's the cool part about setting your own rules too. You can make changes. If you're going on vacation, you can make changes to your routine. But it's getting in that routine, because when you're in that routine, you become very productive. But also remember to allow yourself times for breaks. You need mental breaks from what you're doing and that sort of thing. Getting up, walking around, stretching, going for a walk. As it's stretching, hydration. You've got to stay hydrated. That will help keep you focused, help keep you awake. Make sure you're eating healthy, that sort of stuff. But we're going to get into that more as we go through this, because there are other lessons learned that came up about hydration and eating and exercise and all of that sort of stuff. So that's it for today. Again, congratulations to Dick for the place names in Michigan with Hell, Paradise, and Christmas. So Dick, send me your address information so we can send you out a prize. For everybody else, what are some of the rules that you have set in place for yourself? Whether it's for yourself, for your business, what are some of the rules that you have set in place to help keep you on track? Put them in the comments below. Would love to know what sort of things that you guys get up to for setting rules, because I may learn something from you that I haven't thought of. And other people may learn from your ideas too. So share your rules down below so that we can help each other to learn, which would be awesome. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you tomorrow at some point. I got to figure out, because I'm dropping my parents off at the airport in the evening, so I may be doing a live from LAX before I hit the road back home, depending what time they go through security. So we may be on time tomorrow, we may be a little late. We're being flexible tomorrow. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening. He konera.